All right, so in this video, we are going to discuss the citizenship by investment programs that are upcoming in remainder of 2022 or early part of 2023. There are a lot of news articles reporting various things. There's some confusion on what's really coming versus something that's not going to be launched. So I'm going to clear all the confusion. I have been getting some requests for a video specifically on this topic, a lot of articles, but not really any specific video that addresses the upcoming programs. So I thought this is a good point in time to clarify some of the confusions, set the expectations right. I know a lot of people are very eager to get something fresh. For a very long time, you had the same old Caribbean options and some of the Middle Eastern options as well. Now with changing times, either some of those options have become stale or some options aren't safe anymore to do that CBI. So a lot of people are eager and waiting that something fresh comes in either immediately or at least in the first quarter of 2023. So hopes aside, there has to be some realistic expectations. But before we get started, if you're new to my channel, my name is Jay, and here we discuss different investments that lead to residencies and citizenships. So if you haven't subscribed, take a moment and subscribe so you're always up to date on the latest and greatest regarding any of the programs. And at any point, if you want to get started with any residency or citizenship, visit jsuresh.com and book your call and we can get you started. All right, now let's jump right into it. Let's look at the map and cover each continent, which continent is likely to come up with programs. There are some rumors. I'm going to set the records straight on all the rumored programs. One shouldn't take the rumored ones seriously. There is no information, so there's no point taking those programs seriously. So let's first talk about the African region. Now we've been looking at the Balkans and the Latin Americas. A whole lot doesn't come out from the African continent. So let me first get started with the African continent. So it's clustered with a lot of smaller countries, a lot of poorer countries, which ideally should immediately get started with CBI programs because really the money is needed the most in that region. Unfortunately, the politics and the bureaucratic hurdle comes first, and the money-making machine doesn't kick in, and unfortunately, things don't move as fast. But there has been some positive trend. They have been looking at some of the Caribbean examples, and there has been some eagerness within the political circles within the Africa for introducing a CBI, generating revenue, etc. From the confirmed programs, we have two programs that have confirmed their launch. One is the Laos, $1 million. No, thank you. I wouldn't personally take that seriously. Way too high of an investment unless there's a very specific need. I wouldn't look at that program, obviously, and that's why it hasn't created the headlines that it should. At 250, maybe, not at 1 million for sure. The second program in that region is the CAR, the Central African Republic, a weak passport. There are very limited circumstances, some unique benefits associated with this passport, again under very limited circumstances, and this is not obviously residency specific. I personally wouldn't go and reside myself. I can't speak for others, but there are very unique circumstances where this could be an interesting citizenship to obtain. The price tag is 60K. They have well published and well confirmed that they want to launch this program. It should have already been launched. Unfortunately, it hasn't because it had hit some political hurdles, some legal hurdles. But nonetheless, they have confirmed that in the Q1 of next year, which is 2023, they are planning to launch this program. So it'll be interesting to see that launch when it happens. At $60,000, this is not a donation, so that's the good part, but it's a lot of money to send to CAR. Again, if you have the risk appetite, then you're buying your own cryptocurrency. It's the Sango coin. It's their published cryptocurrency. It's quite different than any other cryptocurrencies that you're normally used to. But nonetheless, I mean, if someone wants to do an experiment, really is looking for that passport, it could be an interesting option. So those are the two confirmed citizenship programs. There is also Suriname has strongly come out with some initial hints. They really haven't spoken anything beyond. So I personally wouldn't take that program seriously. I wouldn't even say that I'm expecting that at all in the first quarter of next year, unless they really move fast on that one, which is highly unlikely. There are some news articles that keep floating around a few other names like Kenya, Zimbabwe, Maldives, Mauritius. I would keep them as rumors at this point, would not take them seriously. Again, all of the content that I'm discussing here is not immigration, legal, tax, or investment advice. This is my personal opinion. This is educational content. Now let's move focus to the Balkans, the most interesting part of the world until the situation in that region happened. But since the conflict and war or whatever it is, based on who you speak to, they want it to be referenced in a certain way. There has been less demand for the Balkans regions because of that threat. Three key countries that either have introduced a CBI or are in the process of launching a CBI. One is Albania, second one is Armenia, third one is North Macedonia. Now, North Macedonia already has a program. I would stay way clear of that because there really hasn't been any update. Sounds like they haven't processed anything. So if I was to look at that seriously, I would not take that program seriously. I will stay away from that program. Again, a personal analysis. Albania has strongly come out with some initial information. I can't take that program seriously until there is more information. So if you are sitting and waiting to do an Albanian program in Q1 2023, I think it's hoping way too much. So for Q1 2023, at least, I would not take that program seriously. So don't sit and wait that you're going to start an Albanian program. There hasn't been enough information on that front. The second one on the list is Armenia. They seem to be more closer than Albania for sure. Again, they have come up with that initial set of information. The great thing about Armenia is that they have set a price tag. They're talking about a 150K investment. There's some talk about that 100K, but only in certain circumstances. But generally speaking, 150K seems to be the price tag they have given. They have provided some level of certainty that in the first quarter of 2023, they really plan to launch this program. We have to wait until January to see if that really happens. A lot of these countries talk about stuff, but when it actually comes to the execution, they get some backlash. There's some sort of a political hurdle that strikes, and then everything comes to a halt, and then there is no responsibility back to the people who have been waiting, right? You keep waiting and they will do what they want to do when they have to do it, right? So that's Armenia. So out of the three, Macedonia, Albania, Armenia, if I were to bank on anything, if I were to put my money on anything, then probably Armenia, if we hear some more positive developments in January. February is the earliest that you can really hope anything on that front. Let's talk about our favorite area, the Latin Americas. Latin Americas is really great for a few unique reasons. I have tons of material on Latin Americas. The hot favorites are Argentina, Brazil. So if you haven't seen some of my videos on this topic, then I would highly encourage that you go and check those out. There's an interesting one that I recently created. You can check that one out in the links that appear above. You can return and watch that. All right, so the CBI in Latin America, the only one country that seems to have announced anything from there is the El Salvador. A lot of talk about different options that they will provide. They haven't provided anything after that. They talked about the Bitcoin citizenship and great initial plans to launch this, but that has not launched. It's not likely to come out, at least as of now. There is no information, there's no news. So if I was waiting for an El Salvador in Q1 2023, I would not wait, because again, there's no likelihood that it's going to materialize that soon if it does in the first place. So El Salvador is off my list. So Uzbekistan, like the Laos, has also talked about a $1 million citizenship. They've really made some concrete plans to launch it. No, thank you. I would not be personally interested. The strength of the passport, the price tag, it doesn't make any sense to me. Again, that's just my opinion. There would be some people who might still be interested in looking at that program. So these are the only names that have cropped up. Am I going to take anything seriously? Is there some real likelihood of anything coming out in first quarter? There are only two that could potentially come out. That's Armenia and CAR, which is Central African Republic. Besides that, I really don't think anything really looks a hot favorite at this time to launch in 2023. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, make sure you're sub, and see you in the next one.